To the April 2010 Radnor Township Shade Tree Commission meeting. The volume seems rather loud tonight. We have several items on the agenda, but we will start with the Agnes Irwin School. If you could please step to the podium and identify yourselves.
Good evening. I'm Mara Baird, landscape architect for the project, and we're here to review the revisions that have been made to the plans since the last meeting and your site visit out to Agnes Irwin. Regarding the planting plan, the primary changes that were made on the planting plan is there was a request for reviewing the plant selections of the black spruce and the red pine, and those plant selections have been replaced with western red cedar and cryptomeria. No change has been made to the physical location of plants on the plan. That's been left in place regarding the street tree requirements, the buffering requirements, the planting replacement requirements, and the landscaping of parking lot requirements in the township code. The other specific request that had been made regarding the planting plan was written specifications about planting preparation for construction, about inclusion of an arborist on the client's behalf to take care of anything that might come up with limb or root damage to the plants, and planting specifications regarding soil and follow-up specifications, follow-up care of the plants. And that information has been included on sheet 37 of 40 in this area. Do you want me to speak to the engineering plans, or do you
Sure,
want to do that? Okay. Pull this out. Joe Hanna cannot be with us tonight. Apparently he injured his shoulder and is immobile this evening. So I'm gonna speak to the changes that were made on the engineering submission. I think we're probably back at the beginning of the set there.
Sorry as I fumble through trying to get through. My name is Kevin McCullough. I'm Director of Finance and Facilities for the Agnes Irwin School, and I'm here with Mara tonight to present those changes that we have made apropos of the Shade Tree Commission's visit to our site on April 9th. One more.
Okay, if we start with sheet number 4 of 40 at the beginning of the set, there was a request to indicate additional tree protection for existing large trees off of Ithan Avenue, and that has been indicated on the plans. I think that one was already on there. If we go to If we go to sheet 8 of 40, there was significant discussion about protection of trees to remain at the south border of the site. And this sheet indicates chain link fence that will be a permanent, during construction, a permanent tree protection for trees at the southern boundary of site, as well as the large willow and the larch adjacent to the existing Arts and Science Center. And also, within that area, there was concern, again, for protection of the willow with respect to the site plan that showed up on the last submission. And a change has been made there. If you go to sheet 16 of 40, in this area here, it shows relocation of the concrete walk that previously cut within the root zone of the willow tree. And so that change has been made, as well as a shortening of of the proposed terrace area so that the root zone of those trees will remain undisturbed. The last sheet of the engineering set also includes the same notes about tree protection that had been included on the planting plan, so that we're not disagreeing with each other in terms of the engineering work and the planting work. So both trades will be responsible for tree protection.
Okay. It seems as though you've captured all of the elements that we discussed while on the site visit. Has the township agreed with the planting depth for the existing sports field and your neighbors?
We met with the Board of Commissioners in caucus the other night, and there was no discussion of the depth of the buffering for the Browning Lane or for the neighbors on the eastern perimeter.
Okay, great. Is there any further concerns or discussion?
It looks like the concerns I have had and the rest of us had have been addressed, so.
Okay.
Would like to thank you. We thought the site visit was really very, very helpful to us, so we appreciate the time you took to make that happen.
Okay. Now, we appreciated you taking the time to explain these 40 sheets to us. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, the next items on the agenda are two hazardous tree reports. And apparently there's a, excuse me, a diseased tree at 417 East Lancaster Avenue, which has been agreed that that particular tree is diseased and should come down. And then there was another hazardous tree report for 417 East well, it's the same one, I'm sorry, and no permit was required for that either. So that hazardous tree issue is approved. We do have a letter here from Jim Schneller, who has brought up to the township's attention that several trees were removed at 320 to 322 East Lancaster Avenue, the property of CVS. And there was a row of approximately 6 cedars, 6 inches in diameter or greater, that were removed without a clearing permit. And my understanding is the township is looking into that issue. And that is the extent of the planned agenda. I have several other issues. One is that several of us over the past month have attended a couple meetings regarding the Radnor Township Shade Tree Commission ordinance. And it is approximately 20 years old, and in essence, at its time was ahead of its time. But there are several issues within it that should be reviewed and updated. And there are several folks within the township, within the Conservancy and the Shade Tree Commission, who will be putting our heads together to update that ordinance. This coming Friday, the day after tomorrow, will be Radnor Township's Arbor Day ceremony, which will be held at Cabrini College. And it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning, and we would invite all to come out. And last but not least, the next meeting of the Shade Tree Commission is May 26th. Are there any other issues for the meeting? Okay. I think that's a record-breaking meeting. Well, thank you all, and good night, and we'll see you on May 26th.